Welcome to the YouTube channel Blonde 4 Story. In this episode, we bring you the haunting tale of Thomas, a former corrections officer, and his encounter with the ghostly procession of Native American spirits. Follow Thomas as he recounts the events of that fateful night, when the world of the unseen collided with the reality of his job. This story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of disregarding the mysterious forces that exist in our world. Get ready to be transported to a world beyond our understanding, where the past and the present meet in a spine-chilling encounter. Stay tuned for an unforgettable journey with Blonde 4 Story. As a young man, Jack had always been fascinated by the stories his father, a corrections officer, would tell him about his job. However, nothing could have prepared him for the terrifying experience his father had one fateful night while patrolling the perimeter of a rural prison. It was a quiet and uneventful night, and Jack's father, Thomas, had settled in for his shift. He was parked on a hill, reading a magazine, when he suddenly felt a strange thumping in his body. It was as if the music playing on his truck speakers had suddenly taken on a life of its own, with the bass vibrating so intensely that it felt like it was coursing through his veins. Thomas put down his magazine and peered into his rearview mirror. To his shock, he saw a procession of Native Americans walking through the truck, directly through his seat. These were no ordinary people, they were spirits, and they appeared injured, their bodies bearing the marks of past battles. Thomas was not one to back down in the face of fear, and he sprang out of the truck, his weapon drawn. He stood there, transfixed, as the procession of ghosts continued to walk through the truck, their apparitions clear and vivid in the darkness of the night. Suddenly, Thomas remembered that he was supposed to be on the lookout for runaway inmates, and he quickly grabbed his walkie-talkie, trying to explain what he was seeing to the other corrections officer on the perimeter. But the other officer's response was not what he expected. The other officer had seen this ghostly procession before, but he was skeptical of the existence of spirits and refused to talk about it. Thomas was left alone in the darkness, confronted by the spirits of the Native Americans who had once walked these lands. He watched in horror as the procession continued, the spirits walking through the truck, then through him, and finally disappearing into the ether. The experience left a profound impact on Thomas, and he never forgot the feeling of the spirits' presence or the sight of their ghostly procession. It was a reminder that there were forces beyond our understanding at work in this world, and that sometimes the things we fear the most are the things we cannot see. Years passed, and Thomas eventually retired from his job as a corrections officer. But the memory of that night stayed with him, and he often told the story to his son, Jack, as a cautionary tale about the dangers of disregarding the unseen forces that exist in our world. And as Jack listened, he too was filled with a sense of unease, knowing that the spirits of the Native Americans were still out there, watching and waiting, their presence a constant reminder of the power of the unknown.